Hello, welcome to, what day is it? Monday Night Live 38 tonight. We're getting through these numbers. It's 38 pretty early on. So hello, welcome everyone here. We've got Russell's here saying hello here from Mount Gambier. I bet it's cold down there. Hello all. I hope people found it a little bit easier tonight. So welcome, Baz is here and Justin and the young guns are here. Damo, how you going? Mick, Kyla's here, Andrew's here, Trisha, good to see you, Trisha. Is Vanessa on yet? I can't afford to forget to say hello to Vanessa. So welcome all. For those that are new joining us, this is Monday Night Live. I'm Ben from Gold Diggers. We do this every single Monday night, and we talk about metal detecting. And tonight's giveaway is, and we normally have a giveaway. And tonight's giveaway is a CC pick, an Australian-made pick, one of the best picks going around. This good hardwood handle, good quality Australian steel, and a bloke on the welder with a, be an Australian bloke too. So CC picks, they're not cheap. This pick here is about $150 odd, but I've had mine now for about 5 or 6 years and you can't go past it. So, to win this pick tonight, you need to share this live stream. In about an hour's time, we'll randomly select someone. We'll get the random generator out and we'll randomly select someone and I'll send this pick out to them tomorrow. So, that's what's happening with the pick tonight. Today's subject is we're looking at where gold collects in creeks and how to read a creek. So that should be very interesting. We've got a great photo up here behind us of, let me just slip out of there, beautiful looking creek. I believe this is in Victoria. Looks like a fantastic spot to spend an afternoon or a week. Yes, no problem at all. I've got some questions here. Peter asks if it comes with the magnet and the handle. They don't standardly, Peter. But if you win, Peter, I'll put a magnet on it for you. So there you go. So, yes. Sing a fair bit tonight, what weapons we use and what we have. I actually I set myself a challenge through the week. I gave myself $50 and I went shopping looking for crevicing tools. I thought that might be a phenomenal little thing. I spent my $50 pretty quick, there's no doubt about that, but I reckon I got some good tools too. I haven't actually had a chance to try them out, so I'll show you what I got for my $50 and we can go from there. So Mazzy's here, Dave's here, Mike's here, Robert, David, Kathy's lost the connection. I hope you come back soon, Kathy. David's here, Nick, lots and lots of people here, so it's great to have you here. And don't forget, my phone number's down there, so if through the week you've got any questions, just give me a call, and yes. Right, so let me just get rid of this, and we might start with what I found with my $50 shopping. And you can make heaps of them, there's no doubt about that. My first little purchase were these. These are a set of, I suppose you might call them picks. I suspect they won't last terribly long, but as you can see, that one there's got a pretty savage point on it. And each of these have got different points on them. There's a little straight one. And the trick with this is to get right down into these crevices. I'm actually on my second reading of this book here by Ian Idris. Yeah, the O-ring picks, these things. So this is an old 1930 odd book, this one here. 1931, Prospecting for Gold by Ian Idris, and it and it talks about for the new chum how to go gold prospecting, and it talks about following the cracks down deep. So these O-ring picks are very, very good for fine work and following these cracks and really raking these cracks out. So and that's what we've got to do. This is the goal, is to get into these really fine cracks and crevices. So that's my first little thing. They were only about $6, $7. Yeah, they're a fantastic little starter thing, just to get the last little bit out. The next little purchase I made, which is much, much more robust, is actually a scribe. It's actually a metal scribe. Phenomenal bit of gear. Very, very strong. I think it'll last a long time. So that's a great little tool, that. Very, very strong, very, very thick. I can't bend that, where those other ones I could bend them if I tried. But yes, very, very good, very, very good little scribe and pick with a hook on it. So someone made a very, very good point there. Stainless dish rack pulled apart makes good hooks and picks. I would think so. That's a phenomenal idea, that one. Thanks for that, Michael. If you've got a spare stainless steel dish rack and you're not going to get into strife for running the grinder down it and bending it up, that's a cracking idea there. So these two things here I got, those were actually from Super Cheap Auto. I bought those. So yes, so that's those ones were from Super Cheap. Then also from Super Cheap, I got these. These are 3 different size pry bars. I think a great idea for prying apart this bedrock in the cracks. So Peter, these ones here are stainless steel. The scribe and the 2 hooks are stainless steel. These are not stainless steel, these little fellas, but so and they're really for 2 different jobs, right? These ones here are for really getting into that last little bit of bedrock before you give it away. These pry bars are when you realise that crack goes a lot deeper than you thought it did, and you need to open that crack up. And yeah, so you got so you can lever these rocks apart. So that's what these, and as we go up in our tools, right, you can actually get you can lever more and more of this rock out of the road, because these cracks, some of these cracks will go down 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6 feet. So so yeah, that's the beauty of them. So yes, now Tony here makes a good point that I was going to get to. Warren from NQ Explorers, the NQ Explorers YouTube channel has just reached 10,000 subscribers. Phenomenal effort from Warren. I don't know whether he's done his draw yet, but if you get a chance after the show, just race over there and yeah, have a you've got to make a comment on that video of his, but 10,000 viewers, so subscribers. So that's a beautiful effort from Warren. So it's very, very exciting. And he's just put out a not a bad new video as well, which is it's a good video. He does some great videos, Warren. So yes. So that's what I spent my $50 on, and that's what I think I'd be pretty good with these pry bars and the picks and the scribe. I think I could scratch. I reckon I could scratch enough to buy my next tool. Yes. So that's what I spent my $50 on. And that, hang on a tick, let me just, I've got stuff everywhere here. That together with a good gold pan, I can't even get the gold pan up here. That together with a good gold pan would be, I reckon you could go a long way before you find a better little setup than that. So, but yes, so people are asking, who's Warren? That's Warren from NQ Explorers. If you go to YouTube after the show, Warren's sometimes in here. Yeah, if you go to YouTube and search NQ Explorers, you will find Warren's channel and about 1,000 hours of fantastic viewing. So yes, the other little thing, there is a lot of these going around. This is actually a crevice sucker. So this is to suck. This is to suck all the last bits of gravel out of crevices, right? So as you can see here, this has come apart a bit differently this time, but this is like a little bilge pump, little yabby pump. This is actually, I had a very, very good friend of mine make this for me. So phenomenal little bit of gear, but I haven't actually used. I've used the likes of them before, but it's just got a little foam washer, and it's like a mini bilge pump, and you can get into the crevices with the little fine end on it and suck it up. And it is based on a yabby pump. So yes, so right, so that there, you really still need something like this to loosen up the bottom of those crevices before you can suck them out. So it works. This works exactly the same as a yabby pump or a bait pump, but yes. So that's a step up in the world of sucking out of crevices. There are commercial ones. You can even buy 12-volt wet dry vacuum cleaners. You would have to argue about the legalities of that with the mine inspector, but this and people do put different size nozzles on the end of it. You don't have to be stuck with that end. There's crushed ends and different size nozzles, so you can just put different size nozzles on. But that's something I'm very, very excited to try out, the crevice sucker. So right, so let's just do a couple of a little bit of housekeeping. So Lanakuri Gold Bash. We've got to talk about the Lanakuri Gold Bash. 5th, 6th, 7th of October. It's coming up very, very quickly. So get into that and have a look at the Lanakuri Gold Bash. It's very, very exciting. At the end of the Ararat Gold Dig is on the 20th and the 21st of October. Yes, so that's worth a go. So have a look at that there. But it is almost sold out. The Australia's greatest prospecting weekend, the Nugget Hunt, the Queensland Nugget Hunt, is on the 26th of September to the 1st of October, less than a month away. This event is a not-for-profit event as well, but it's $100 including all catering. I think there's only about 10 spots left to come along. It's a limited number thing, so you need to be a member of the Queensland Gold Prospecting Facebook page and get on that, because there's only a few spots, and it's obviously going very, very quickly, sort of thing. It's only been out a week or two and it's already gone, sort of thing. So there's only a few spots. Yes. So
I'll put the link up for those pans.
yeah. So so that's fantastic. That Nugget Hunt's happening. We're very, very excited about it. And also, while we're going, let me put my background back up here. So we're now doing a stack of East Wing stuff. So pans, they do about 4 different size pans. And this is all genuine stuff, you know, genuine East Wing stuff. We're doing the chisels, like proper heavy duty chisels. There's a stack of different type of chisels there. We're doing a heap of the proper made in America rock picks. Now they're not cheap at all, but if you want gear that's not going to break, you've got to buy good gear. This stuff's made in the States, so yeah, quality gear. So we've just started selling that in the shop. I think Taylor's put the link up there for some of the East Wing stuff. So how is these black pans different? So these black pans, okay, I always get this question, what do you think of turbo pans? I don't like turbo pans. I think in some people's hands they're great. It doesn't sort of work for me, but you know, some people love them. So, but I'm not a huge fan of that. I lose control of them too much with a what do I call it? What do they call yeah, those pans. So the difference between these East Wing pans and, say, for instance, the Garrett pans, is that these have got a fine, it's very hard to tell here, I've got to hold the pan at the right angle. Well, there you can see it there. There's a fine angle riffles, and then there's the coarse riffles up the side here. So, and it's got that negative angle, so the actual angle, the riffle, if you like, goes back in underneath. So these are a very, very good quality pan. These are amongst the best pans on the market, these ones here. So, yeah, you can't go wrong with these East Wing pans. And it's probably easier to see on the back. You can see the coarse one here, and then the fine one over here, sort of thing. So, but yeah, I like these East Wing pans. 4 sizes, 10, 12, 14. I think they do a 16 as well. So, but we got them in stock, and the metal pans, and all sorts of picks, and yes. Oh, sorry, people are talking about this book here. Book, Prospecting for Gold, Ian Idris, 1930s. They're not cheap, they're an old book. So, yeah, but Prospecting for Gold, great book though, phenomenal book. I find you read some of these old books, it just resets your mind back to how you should before you started to worry about negative riffles and small riffles and coarse riffles, but you read some of these old books and it tells you what you've forgotten about the last couple of years. Like, I've been doing this a long time, and the amount of stuff out of that book that I've gone, geez, I don't do that anymore, I should be doing that. Just because, and it's only little tiny things, but those little tiny things get you going. So and that's part of what tonight is. Like, the biggest thing, I don't think even all the crevicing I've done and that's the thing, I don't think I've opened up a crack in the bedrock for a lot of years, and maybe it's because I'm getting lazy and old or what, but you know, a chisel, an East Wing chisel like that, right? That's a proper East Wing. Like this East Wing stuff, I've got to put a bit of a warning on it. This stuff's not cheap. Like, that's a $59 chisel, but you're just not going to break it like that there, just to open up some of these cracks in bedrocks and what have you. The long one there. So, yes. So I'm doing a lot more of these sorts of things. So I'm going out and doing a lot more of that. Sometimes you can be more productive with one of these and a rock pick and a chisel and a couple of little scraping tools than what you can be with a sluice or a, detector, or, there's a lot of benefits to this stuff. So, okay. Dominic just talks about here, we compare old books with the old days laws to today's laws. Oh, well, they didn't have any laws back then. If they didn't like you, they'd bloody shoot you. That's how it worked back then, Dominic. So, yeah, you could get on a bit of land cheaply, or relatively cheaply, and you could do what you wanted. You could run a dredge, you could do anything you want. So, yes. Peter there asks about the difference between using a metal pan compared to the plastic ones. Plastics have riffles. Well, the metal pans, and East Wing do some metal pans as well. We just haven't got them out here. But the metal pans don't really have anything to hold the gold, right? So you've got to be really good. It's like using this side of the pan and not using the riffles, right? So it's easy to lose gold out of the bottom of that pan. Vice versa, it's very, very hard to lose gold when it sits in behind those riffles in the pan. So, like, the big advantage for us is when we're using a pan like this, right, it's very hard to lose it's very hard to lose gold out of it. So, yeah, my advice is always use like I've got a steel pan, I pulled out for a bit of fun, but I never use it. I use one of these. It's far, far quicker too. You can be much rougher and hold the gold. There's no doubt about that. So, yeah, so I'm really liking these East Wing pans at the moment. So, yeah. Taylor's just about to throw a link up to those pans and all the bits and pieces. The pans aren't overly... I think these have got prices on them. No, they don't. That's handy. Taylor will put up the prices. Yeah, exactly. So, so yeah, they're not overly dear. I think that might be 15 to, I think that's 17. I think there's 20 and 25 maybe, something like that. They're around that sort of price. So, yes. Yeah, so that's what's happening. So, let's say hello to a few people here. Richard and Denise and Tony. I saw Craig Drew there earlier. Who else is here? Robert Jem Q's here, Trev's here, lots and lots of people. Peter there. Good to see you all. For those that don't know, I'm Ben from Gold Diggers. We do this every Monday night. It's Monday Night Live, and we normally give away something. Tonight, we are proudly sponsored by CC Picks. Some of the best Australian-made picks on the planet. Great for metal detecting, great design, fine point up here, big wide head on them, great for exactly what you need to do for detecting. So, so we're giving away one of these tonight. So you need to share the live stream you need to share the live stream to get the, and we'll randomly pick someone who shared the live stream. Sorry guys. Get distracted by these comments here in front of me. But yes, so do that. And so I'm from Gold Diggers. I've got a little shop here in Brisbane. That there is my phone number. So through the week, if you want, you got any questions asked, just let me know. So, and that's my phone number. So this is a CC pick, right? This is not an Easy Dig pick. This is the 100% Australian made ones. But the Easy Dig picks are a simpler pick, not quite as much work in them, but they're a little bit cheaper sort of thing. So yes, so that's an Easy Dig. So yes, and Michael Gantz here. I just see Michael's got his pinpoint. He bought a pro point off me there through the week. Michael had it. What was that coin you found, Michael? I've been watching you with great interest on. With great interest on Facebook. You found a very, very interesting coin, 2 in a row, in fact. So, yeah. And like for all this gear, David here makes a good point that he has better luck with a steel pan than he does with these plastic ones. And he's right. It's what you're used to. People much prefer those turbo pans than these. Like, you know, I don't get it, but, you know. So it just depends. It just depends on what you like. So, yeah, so that's the, yeah, it just depends on what you like. Andrew's here. Did I see Vanessa? I've got to say hello to Vanessa. I get in trouble if I don't say hello to Vanessa. Yes, Vanessa's here. Hello, Vanessa. How are you? Gary's here. Yes, so, okay, we're getting a bit distracted here with gear, but I do like gear. I've got a lot of gear, as we saw a couple of weeks there ago. So, okay, that's fine. You're scratching out these crevices. Let me get rid of that. Let me clear that up. So you're scratching out these crevices, okay? So the hardest thing is to get it without a 12-volt vacuum cleaner, right? The hardest thing is to get it from the crevice into the pan. So what you need to do is you need to have something like this. It's an edge digger, like a little sharp knife, or even these sorts of things. I was going to modify one of these. This is a dangerous looking bit of gear that I bought from Bunnings. But, yes, that bit of gear there, I was actually going to modify that and make it a much finer, so I could get it in there and scratch onto this and then into the pan, tap it into the pan. So you need something, or even a proper little shovel that you can scratch all your crevicing into. So you need something to scratch all the bits out of the cracks into, and you need to be able to put that in there and scratch this sort of action in there and scratch into this, right? Because that's where the gold will be, in those fine scratches. So yes, so something like that to scratch into, it'd be really good. Or the other alternative is to loosen it up in the crevice and suck it out. So, so yes, so that's the other alternative there. And you can use the proper bait pumps, the big bait pumps. Wire brushes is a good idea as well, but you still need to be able to scratch the crevice, the wire brush, into the spatula. Some people use an old spoon there, so that's a good idea. So then you've got it out of the crevice and into the pan. Then it's pretty straightforward. We've showed you how to do we've showed you panning videos, so we won't go into the panning side tonight. So that's the sort of gear I use. I think that was all I was going to show you. I think so, yes. So that's the sort of gear I use. You know, and I like to break these crevices up. Like, break them up so you can get right down into the bottom. And smash it up with your hammer sort of thing. We're trying to do this legal here. People are talking about jackhammers and compact drills and all sorts of stuff. But we better not do that too much. And yes, but some of this scraping gear is very, very good. But, so that's how to get it there. So then the trick is, what do I look for? Yeah, so these picks, Stephen just asked us a bit of an aside, how do you sharpen them? Because the tips get that's got a bit of garden hose on it, but I don't think I can get it off. But just hit them with a grinder. That's all I do, hit them with a grinder, sharpen them up. And I don't do it very often. I have got a battery powered grinder that sometimes lives in the ute, so yeah. Anyway, we'll just start. I'll throw up some of these pictures here, and we can go from there. I will shrink me down because I have got them. Oh, that's not how we want to work it. Because I have got them labelled here. So this is our first stream up here. So the first thing we really want to talk about is inside bends. So inside bends are like point A, just there, okay? So the river's coming round that corner, and there's a low pressure zone on the back of that corner. So it's dropping all the heavies on that spot. So that's what we talk about, an inside bend. And when you look at a creek, there is huge amounts of inside bends. There's lots of inside bends. So you need to to understand the creek, you really need to be testing a fair few of these inside bends, testing at the water level, below the water level, up high on the bank. Quite often the inside bend in a flood is much higher up the bank than what you suspect it to be. Okay, so the other place to look at is, well, obstructions. So if you look at point B up there, okay, there's lots of riffles in there. In all of those cracks, they are running to a degree across the river, across the flow of the river. So all of those cracks would be worthwhile digging right down into with your crevice tools and your suckers and your paint brushes and your wire brushes and all of that gear, and scratching the bottoms out and making sure you got all of them. So those rock shelves, that bedrock that's sitting in the creek, is phenomenal for holding gold. We'll switch across here to another little spot here, and we'll have a look at this one. And very, very similar. You look there, B above my head there, inside bend. Okay, on the back of the inside bend would be a great spot to look. There's lots of obstructions. C there is also an inside bend. It's the back of an inside bend and probably not a bad spot. And then there's stacks of obstructions at D there, sort of thing. So, yes, the water is travelling that direction there. Sorry, I didn't have a picture up there. But it's often, see where I've got the arrow there with point A on? Quite often that's not a bad spot. It's high up in the flood zone. It can hold a lot of, it's probably on the outside of the bend in a flood, but there looks like a good rock structure up there. So it's probably worthwhile having a poke around up there and see if there's any colour up there. So yeah, that's worthwhile having a look at as well. And then, like, even in a straight section of river, like we've got right here, okay? So behind all those boulders will hold gold. And then you can see there's actually riffles right down there at B. There's actually rock structure underneath the water, and that's worthwhile looking at with a bait pump or a bilge pump or one of a crevice sucker. That's the sort of places to look at there, and it can hold very, very good gold. So Peter asked a question here, doesn't every bend have an inside bend with an outside bend being the other side? Yes, it does. Does this mean that the shallow side of the bend is normally the inside of the part? Yes, it does. Because as the river or the creek goes around, the quickest bit will always be on the outside, so therefore more erosion will happen on the outside and it will get deposited back onto the inside. So yes, correct. Wayne, that's to a point. So where there's a low pressure zone is where, so Wayne makes what you're saying is where the water slows down, anything in a suspension will fall out. Yes, it will. But also where there's a low pressure zone. So behind that rock, say an A, in a flood, the water's not going to slow down dramatically, but it will create a low pressure zone as the water comes around that and skips behind that little bit of rock, and it will suck right in behind that rock. So that'll be a low pressure zone. So it's more about low pressure zones than slowing down. But yes, you're right. Wherever it slows down, if you've got a really quick narrow stream going into a big wide billabong, let's say, the moment it slows down, the gold will drop out, and it will drop out right at the start of that, right where it starts to get deep. So Yes. Yeah, low pressure is like an eddy. So, would rocks on the bank near A be worth a look from when the weather is flat? Absolutely. All of that area. And you will probably, as you can see on this side of the river pretty clearly, you can see a bit of a flood zone there. And there's probably another flood zone, where is it, just along here, below that orange arrow. So you can sort of, when you stand there, it's hard to see from these aerial shots, but when you stand there and look at it, you can see these benches in the side of the creek, and you go, well, right, that's where the floods scrubbed that clean. Those rocks up there will have a good, might hold some gold. So it's worthwhile having a look around. If you're setting up a sluice, it's really good to set up a few test pans and see where it's sitting before you even set up the sluice. So, yes. Jewel Robert Butler, how far down the rivers can you find gold? Can you find the streams close to the coast? Yes, you can. You can virtually. I've had this discussion with, actually a couple of prospectors now. I reckon you could drive down the coast, the east coast of Australia, and in virtually every creek you could find gold. And I don't know whether you'd be close to the coast. You could probably, if you could get into some areas with black sand, there's a lot more volume of water closer to the coast, so you'd have to get deeper. You'd have to find bedrock. You'd have to do all that sort of stuff. But yeah, absolutely, there's gold in every single watery. Like next door to the shop, a few of you have been to the shop here, but next door to the shop, there's a drain. Like it's a drain, and back before this was all built up, it was just a gully. Well, you can walk down that creek with a pan, and you can scratch a bit out of a rock bar down the bottom there, and you can get a bit of colour out of that. It just looks like a stormwater drain. Well, it is a stormwater drain. So, there's gold in every little creek going around. So, right. So here's another little picture of a creek that would hold gold virtually everywhere. Like I've just put an arrow there at A, but you could look at every one of those little crevices, behind every rock, up on the banks where it floods up, like right up the top there. You can see the flood lines where the creek runs when it floods. So there is lots and lots and lots of places in that picture. You could spend a week there. So now, in saying that, if you were to try 2 or 3 good, really prominent areas there and found no gold, right, you'd have to start thinking that you need to try a different part of the creek. Because if you were in a really good spot and not finding a lot of gold, could be that part of the creek doesn't have any gold. So, yes. So that would be my suggestion. Yes. Right, okay. So, we'll just get a little bit bigger here. We'll just reintroduce us here. For those that don't know, I'm Ben from Gold Diggers. That's my mobile number just there. So if you got any questions, give me a ring. I'm on it most of the time. I do turn it off at night though. So you're out of luck at night time. So yeah. Anyway, this is Monday Night Live. We do this every Monday night. And tonight, and we normally give away a prize. Tonight's prize is a CC pick, one of the greatest picks made in Australia. Very, very good, sharp point on it, very narrow point on it, big wide blade, acts like a bulldozer. Got a couple of lips here to hold the soil there. So perfect for metal detecting, but also a very, very good weighted pick. We're going to draw that in about 20 minutes. So to go into the entry of that, you need to share this live stream, and then our randomizer will pick a random share, and we'll win this prize of the CC Pick. Thanks to Craig at CC Picks for his support. He's been very, very good to us over the years. So, and I've had this pick here, waiting to give it away for a number of, well, to be honest, months. He gave it to me months ago, and I haven't had a chance to give it away yet. So, yes. So, yeah, don't forget that. You've got about 20 minutes before that happens. So share away, guys. So, Daryl makes a point here, the drain at the back of bench shop's full of gold from his dirt panning kits. No, that's, I don't tend to miss too much, Daryl. So, well, I don't think I do anyway. So, right, so, have we got any questions there, Taylor, that we need to cover, or am I being very talented? Taylor's here helping me again tonight. So, it's much simpler with another body here to moderate the comments and not help me with some comments. So, what do we got here? So, okay, so this is not really to do with prospecting, but what sort of prodding tools do you use when digging up a hole in parks and places like that? If it's dry, a digging tool like that, if it's moist, a digging tool like that is very, very good. If it's dry and dusty, right, you're going to struggle to cut a neat plug, and you probably he had a deck saver. See, Taylor's got a much better memory than me. It was a thing you shoved into the ground, and you felt around for a coin, and you turned it on its side and pulled it up. It was very clever, but yes. So yeah, it was the deck saver. Yes. So have a look at that. So, but yes, so that's the best way to do it. I really think if it's dry, like it's been dry in a lot of places, you're really best to leave it alone, because even if you do get a sort of a plug out of a park, particularly one that's got a good layer of grass on it, and someone's looked after it, it will die afterwards. With it if you don't cut a really good plug. So yeah. So Gary asks, will I be in the shop most of the days? I'm normally here at this stage Mondays, Wednesday, Thursdays, some Fridays, some Saturdays. So yes. Right, so David asked, can we do a gold panning night? We've got that scheduled, Taylor. When's that for? That's a few weeks out though, isn't it? I think it's a few weeks out that we're going to do before Christmas it'll be.
22nd to the 10th.
22nd to the 10th. That's what we're aiming for at the moment. We're going to have another gold panning night. We're going to go absolutely crazy with some of that pay dirt. If people are trying to buy pay dirt, there is none left. Okay? We didn't have a whole stack of it to start with, and it's gone. There's not a bag of pay dirt in the place. So, right. So that's that. Okay. So we've got a few things here. Now, we talked about obstructions across the creek. Like in a creek like this, we talked about obstructions blocking it. Quite often, if you look at tree roots will hold a lot of gold. So get in behind the tree roots and look for those black sands in the behind the holes, behind those tree roots, because they will hold a lot of gold. So tree roots are a great little spot to find gold. So if you're in a gold-rich area, just have a poke around there. The other thing I wanted to mention is quite often gold will collect in a pocket where two creeks or two rivers meet. So there will be a pocket across that where those two rivers are meeting that will hold an enormous amount of concentrated gold. Okay, So if it's in a very, very rich area and you've got two creeks meeting, okay, there will be a pocket in there that will hold a lot of gold. So if you're in a rich area and you can get in there, there'll be a very, very rich spot there, sort of thing. So, and then, of course, when we're looking about alluvial gold, so gold in riverbeds, some of the old river courses, rivers that aren't rivers anymore, so they're just up high on the banks, or they're out in the middle of nowhere, and you come across a washed gravel bed. Maybe when you're detecting, you get a target, you dig a hole, all of a sudden you get all this wash coming up. So that's also worth a really good look too. So, right, there was a couple of questions here. Baz, I could get rich off selling pay dirt. I don't think you could, mate. Let me tell you. I sell a few pay dirts and I don't think you could. Another good one here. There's a lot of good suggestions coming through on the comments here. Moss. Moss will hold the gold. If you've got a really mossy area, it will collect the gold. There's no doubt about that. So, yeah. We don't have a lot of moss in sort of southern Queensland. Whoever said that? Was that Beck or someone else? But it's pretty dry where I go. So, Western Queensland there, it was pretty... it's pretty ordinary. So, yes, so have we got any more questions there, Taylor? Or am I on it here?
Daniel was asking about a live detector night.
A live detector night? What, people want to come in? Geez, that'd be all right. We could do something like that. So, yeah, absolutely. So, and I've noticed that there's lots of people here having a lot of luck recently. There's some fantastic coins. Did Michael come back to us and tell us what coins he found? Can you just have a scroll through and see if you can find that? Michael, I just want to know what coins you found. Okay, so people are asking here, how accessible are these creeks? In Victoria, you've got large areas of ground down there. But if you probably need to go, well, there's a couple of things. You've got large areas of state forests that you can fossicking in Victoria. Same in New South Wales. In Victoria, that's under threat. So go and have a look at the Bush Users group on Facebook. There it is, cartwheel pennies. We've got to talk about cartwheel pennies. So in New South Wales, you can get a fossicking licence, go into the state forest. And then in Queensland, there's restricted fossicking areas that you can go in there. So you do have to be a bit careful about where you go. Yes, so have a look at the regulations before you just walk onto any creek and start digging a hole. But you can do it. You can do it no trouble at all. We need to do a talk. We do need to do a night on sluicing. I haven't done one of them for a while. So now, Michael, cartwheel pennies. Imagine that. What date was it? 1797 cartwheel pennies. That's phenomenal, Michael. I need a photo. I need a couple of photos. We'll have a look at them next week. But that was a phenomenal find. Maybe Michael would tell us a little story too, because I'd love to hear a bit of a story about him. So yes. So right. Right. Okay. Now, what else have we got here? What else have we got here? Okay. Right, okay, I think we've got a lot of that covered there. A stainless steel ruler makes a good crevicing tool, I bet it would. So, guys, 10 minutes before we draw the prize for the CC pick. One of the greatest picks here in Australia, made by an Australian. So yes, all Australian steel, Australian hardwood handle. They're valued about $150. We're going to draw that in about 10 minutes or so. So if you want to get involved with that one, just you need to share this live stream in the next 10 minutes and yes, go from there. So right, restoring your finds, we can do a night with that. Which CC pick is that? That is the, I don't know.
Faith.
Is it Faith?
I believe so.
Faith. So that's Faith, and that pick is, how long is that? Taylor, can you just grab that tape measure over there? We'll measure. I think that's about 650 long. It's not too long to post the pick, definitely not too long. You can post Australia, post up to about 1200. So that pick from top to bottom is 610. So that's right from the pick head all the way to the end of the handle is 610, 620 by the time you add a magnet to it. So yes, phenomenal pick those are. I've had mine for about 5 years and it got no love. For 4 years, the handle just got no more. I put a bit of, it started to look like it was starting to crack, so I put a bit of linseed oil on it, and it sort of, you know, after 4 years, I looked after it a little bit. So, but it probably needs a, it probably needs a bit of, yes, needs a bit more love than that probably. And yes, Donnie did miss the nugget hunt announcement, but we've got to do it again. So here we go. Australia's greatest event for metal detectors, 28th to the 1st of October, around those dates. Queensland Prospecting Facebook group is putting on the nugget hunt. Okay, so you arrive Friday afternoon, Saturday, Sunday, Monday morning, you got to shoot through. It will be a absolutely phenomenal event. There's lots of prizes. I think there's about $3,000 worth of prizes. I think there's only about 7 or 8 spots from what I had a look at there the other day, earlier on today. And if you want to get into detecting, I'll be there. Dustin from Gold Rat will be there. There'll be all these people that you know there. The XP guys are going to be there, so that's phenomenal. So it will just be a great weekend. I'm quite prepared. I was talking to Donnie the other day, but I said to him, I'm quite prepared not to pick up a detector all weekend. If people want help, I'll be there to help. You know, I'll just wander around and, you know, might have a quiet beer in my hand here and there, and, you know, I'm more than happy to wander around and help. So if you've got questions, it's a great event for beginners as well. I had some people going, oh no, it's a bit advanced for us. Not at all. Like, there'll be people like me around there to help set your machine up, or how to read the ground. You know, they've cornered a few of us for Saturday night. There'll be a question and answer thing around the fire. So, yes, absolutely great weekend. So make sure you get along to that if you can. There's only a few spots left. Of course, Ararat Gold Dig's coming up on the 20th and the 21st of October. All for charity, good little event that. And of course, the Lanakuri, the world famous Lanakuri Gold Bash. It's on the 5th, 6th, 7th October. So it's the weekend after oh, hang on, I haven't put them up here. Here's the Lanakuri Gold Bash. It's a phenomenal little event. And then the Ararat, I better put this one up. Ararat's the 20th and the 21st. So some great things coming up in October, particularly as the grey nomads are coming south. I hear the Claremont caravan park's full of people moving south at the moment. So it's getting a bit warm for some of the grey nomads up in the north. So yes, and we're trying to do a Saturday Night Live. I need a fair bit of internet speed to get this going. So we're trying to do a Saturday Night Live from up there, but we will have to see. So yes, it'll be good. We might even do something, David, on the first night about the lay of the land. I know there's some people doing some geo work on it at the moment to see if we can pick some stuff up. So maybe we can have a bit of a Saturday morning, a bit of a breakfast thing or a Friday afternoon thing. We'll have to talk to Donnie about that. So I'm very, very excited because Queensland doesn't have, people say, oh, we need a nugget hunt in Victoria. You've got about 6 events down in Victoria. So this is what I'm very excited about, having one in Queensland without having to travel down south. So, yeah, so it will be great for the Queenslanders to have one up here. So, but yeah, so that's great. So only about 4 minutes until we're going to draw the CC pick. So, so get your entries in right now. Share the post, and we can go from there. Let me just load up and have a look at get the randomizer fired up, and see if we can get it going here, and we'll get it warmed up for the randomizer. Why is that not working? We'll get it warmed up. So beautiful. Right, okay. So Donnie's going up to check on the internet speed for the nugget hunt on tomorrow. Well, on tomorrow, but tomorrow. So I'm very, very interested in what that result comes back. Hopefully it's quick and we can sit around on Saturday night and do a Saturday night live from the field, live from the bush. We can have everyone on the show who's found nuggets. We can interview people. We can do all sorts of things. So it could be very, very chaotic. So yes.
Roger asked if you need a permit for the nugget hunt.
You need to, yes. So just a bit here about the nugget hunt. Roger just asked about the nugget hunt. So you need to be a member of the Queensland. Let me put it back up here. So you need to be a member of the Queensland Prospecting Queensland Gold Prospecting Facebook page. They've got an event. Go and join the event, right? But you do need a prospecting permit, a Queensland prospecting permit, to come along, and that covers you then from the insurance. So insurance point of view. So it's very, very well organised. So it's great. I think the pig on the spit for Saturday night. I'm looking forward to that. So Trisha's given me some good advice here. I need a satellite truck. Do I, Trisha? I know. I've actually thought about needing a satellite to get a satellite feed for the show, but it's quite, how would I say it? The cost is quite prohibitive. It's 15 grand for a satellite truck, and I don't know from the little show that could, whether we could quite afford a satellite truck. So, but anyway,
Donations are open now.
yeah. Donations are open. I don't know where we're going to. I'll shake a tin at the gold hunt, and maybe we can afford a satellite truck. So, but anyway, we'll see how the internet goes up there. I've got a little antenna, and we can go from there. So, yeah, that's what I need. Telstra to sponsor. Oh, right, we've gone over time here. It's just gone 8:30, so we better do this draw now. So let me just fire this up here. Now it just takes a moment. So, right, we got it here. Damien, thank you very much. Damien's got $100 for the truck. So we're on our way. Anyway, so here's tonight's prize. We'll just get it's a CC pick. We'll just stand him there for a minute so I don't kill myself with it. So let's run this randomizer, and then I'll give you a point. I'll give you a tip before we go that'll save your life one day. So randomizer, Sarah has won the. I don't know where Sarah's from, but Sarah has won the tonight's prize of the CC pick. Congratulations, Sarah. I'll contact you straight after the show, and we can organise to get it out to you. So, here's a tip, a CC tip. So I'll just try and get this bloody bit of hose off here. So these picks are very, very sharp, right? You really want to, if you're going to fall over, you don't want to fall over on that sharp bit. You want to put it in like that, so that's behind you, that sharp bit is behind you. Because you do not want to fall on that, because it'll go straight through you, particularly when it's sharp. Like, it will drive a hole, don't worry about that. So Sarah, this is your pick, and I'll contact you straight after the show. Next week's show is going to be, at this stage, it's going to be safety in the bush, okay? So we're going to try and cover a little bit on snake bite stuff. We're going to try and cover a little bit on basic navigation, not electronic navigation, but common sense navigation, if you like. So we're going to do a bit of that sort of thing. I haven't quite put it all together yet, but there's a few things I want to talk about. We're going to talk about dealing with snakes and what to do. We're going to talk about spiders. You might even talk about ants in your pants. I had an incident like that in the bush. Was not happy.
Put a link up for the CC pics.
Yes, there's a link up for the CC pics. Someone keeps reminding me to fill your holes in, so fill your holes in. So yes, we will talk about safety next week, and next week's prize is a first aid kit. It's about $100 first aid kit. It's a really good first aid kit. We'll open it up and go through it tomorrow. Not tomorrow, next show. Just to give you a bit of an idea on what's what. So, yes. Okay, thank you very much, everyone, for coming along, and we will see you next week.